Alright, so we're just going to talk about brooches that I bought and a new brooch meta that's evolving in Soul Worker right now because this is a very common question. Oh my gosh. I'm changing channels. Alright. Freedom! Actually, no. We need to change channels and teleport. We need to teleport too. It'll take them a while to get over here, so I have more time. Anyways, so before the brooch meta was double Sin, double FOT, and BSK shoes or SD shoes. It's actually going to be changing quite a bit when Violent Sun comes out. So right now, it's still fine to run that. But when Violent Sun comes out, since there's no minions in Violent Sun, you're going to actually be running triple SD and then FOT and Sin. And I'll go through the brooches that I would recommend and what you buy. So for SD, it's very simple. You want the same brooches on every single set. Penetration is better than Melter. Vigor for the max stamina and Enlightened. The two big ones are Penetration and Enlightened. If you have to skip on one brooch or buy a different brooch, the middle one is the one you want to buy on. So the reason why Penetration is going to be the best is on a crit, you have a 3% probability of 9% armor break. This is Giga. And on your hat, it will give you armor break too. So with your 100% crit chance, your armor pen's going to be very, very high. This is a very, very good set for single target DPS because you don't need the ecstasy for the extra armor break. Now, the reason why I'm wearing the BSK set now is going to be for BIS Lounge and for HH parties. You use the ecstasy for the 12% armor break. And then I'll use the same set down here that I'm buying. For Sin set, you would run it always on your pants. And you would use these same three brooches. You would use Reckless for the first one. Again, armor break, most likely always first time. Second one is Backstep, which gives you an insane amount of crit damage when you take damage. And the last one is Technique, which is basically increases your attack whenever you land a critical strike. And at endgame, you're 100% critical strike. So you see how these are stacking based on your critical strike, and yet at endgame you have 100% critical strike, so you're getting them. Okay, and the last one that we're going to be talking about really quick is going to be your FOT brooches, which your attack, again, armor break, bunker buster. Next one is going to be Attrition. Now this is a key brooch because in Violent Sun, you take ticking damage in certain part, and this brooch will keep you alive. Some people might opt for the higher max HP minus like movement speed, but Attrition will keep you alive in that. Other than that, you just have to spam healing pots. So Attrition is technically the best brooch in this one, but there are some alternatives you can use. And the last one, Recon, if you're doing a single target fight. If you're not doing a single target fight, Strategy will be better. Just because Strategy has a kill effect. So Strategy will be better for HH, for leveling, for stuff that you kill a lot of enemies. And Recon will be better for single target. So now let's talk about some alternatives that we can use. So an alternative to Bunker Buster, if you don't have enough money for a Terra one and you want Terra, would be Ballista. Ballista lowers your accuracy, but gives you the same armor break. Unfortunately for Sin, there's not really any substitutes you can do because all of the other brooches are not as good, nowhere near as good. Same with BSK. The only one you could change with BSK would be Ecstasy, and instead you would use Fever. Yeah, and that will be again for single target fights. You'll want Fever over Ecstasy, but in single target fights when Violent Sun comes out, we'll just be using triple SD. So this will be SD too for penetration to keep up 100% armor break against Phlegma, which is the Violent Sun boss. And those are the reasons why I'm using these brooches and what the brooches would be like in the current meta and the future.